how they are used to manage any of the water resources. And in general, these studies need to be done, which is typically known as a feasibility study. That includes also the geotechnical studies, because they have to determine what's the potential of landslides. Typically this is the analysis of the water resources done through some type of hydrological model that preferentially is an integrated subsurface or surface hydrological model that's able to link all of the data items, rainfall, groundwater flow, surface flow, and to provide understanding of the impact of various rainfall events in the watershed, and how they affect the floods and how do they affect the water balance. In general, these are very intense data items that are required. They have to be collected, daily events, even hourly events. For some of the flooding, you need to have hourly events recorded in terms of rainfall. In addition, access to data is a very important component. And how do you access it? How is it well organized? So these are various aspects that are a big challenge. And however, they are very necessary for successful watershed management within a given island or watershed. And after presenting all of this scientific information, I wanted to conclude and to mention that we're happy to be part of this group, distinguished group, and each of us has their own, expertise, and we'll be glad to continue this in a different way. And that's my conclusion, and I'm expecting your comments.
Very good. We're going to entertain your questions now. This is a panel discussion, so please feel free to use the microphone and ask questions of our panelists this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Cueto. You mentioned that it was like $5.5 billion to make a certain number of improvements to the water system. What is the appetite or the ability of the Cuban government to, look into that, or international donors, or could you talk a little bit about that?
During our study, we didn't, explore the funding issue. I know the next panel is going to be touching specifically on funding models and things of that nature. We only looked at the infrastructure from a technical perspective and came up with some order of magnitude cost estimates for those improvements. But we, unfortunately, we didn't follow up in regards to how these improvements can be carried out.
To what extent is the infrastructure of Cuba's water related to the base at Guantanamo following a 1903 lease for coaling and shipping from the Navy that was reaffirmed in 1934?
Let's see. There are some remarks here.
I'm trying to answer the question. It is my understanding that you're talking about Guantanamo and Navy. I believe they have their own desalination plant. So they are not connected to the island in any way. So they have their own desalination plant. It was established many years ago.
Thank you very much. And there's another remark.
Actually, just to comment on that, the U.S. naval base in Guantanamo used to be connected to the mainland before 1959, but during the guerrilla war against Batista, the rebels cut the water a couple times to the base, and that led to the desalination plant, which cannot be stopped. That's the connection between the two.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Thank you. You've mentioned many times about the current condition of the infrastructure in Cuba, which doesn't look particularly good. The data that you've quoted comes from this Institute of Hydraulic